Hello and welcome on Vetup. This video will show you how to use the main features of this veterinary software. Now let's have a look at the main functionalities located here. So if you click here, you can have access to all your cells. This is the owner's database. This is the animals database. If you click on this icon, you can have access to all your payments. This is your calendar with all your appointments. Here is your to-do list so that you don't forget anything important that must be done. This is the help menu where you can find all the tutorial videos that explain how to use the software. And this is our support that you can contact if you need any further information. Now let's have a look at the main page here. So you have a good overview of the activity of the clinic. For example, here you have the list of the appointments of the day. Here you can find the animals that are currently hospitalized within the clinic. This is the waiting room, so that when a owner who has an appointment gets to the clinic, you move him from this section to this one. And then you have the last visits and your to-do list. Now let's start with the medical menu. So here is the list of all the owners that are registered in your system, and you can easily create new ones here. So you just need to enter all the personal information about the owner here, and you can add an animal too. Same thing for the animals database here. So here is the list of all the animals that are registered in the system, and you can create new ones here. In this section, you can follow up with the activity of your colleagues within the clinic. So for example, you can have access to their visit history, their prescriptions, their invoices, anything important. Same thing, if you have several clinics, you can enter them in this section here, and you can follow up with their activity from this account. Same thing, you have the visits history, invoices, anything important. Now, let's talk about the reminders. So, for example, when an owner brings his animal for vaccination and needs to bring it back a year later, he is very likely to forget. So, in order to avoid that, you can send him a reminder. So you can either send it now, which means at the moment that you create it, or schedule it for later. Usually it's better to schedule it for a few days or a few weeks before the deadline so that you make sure that you don't forget to book a new appointment. So for example, here, this reminder is going to be sent by email. So as explained before, the waiting room allows you to know when the owners are in the clinic waiting for their appointment. So for example, if we go here, Mr. Bloor has an appointment today. Let's say that he just got to the clinic and is now waiting for his appointment. So we can move him to waiting room. And he no longer appears here, but here. Same thing for hospitalization. At the moment, there's only one animal that is hospitalized within the clinic. And for example, if its owner comes to pick him up, then you can click here on hospitalization exit. And if you go back on the home page, he no longer appears here. This is your calendar with all your appointments, so you can check them per day, week, a month. It's very easy to create an appointment. So you just click on the day, then you select an owner, a animal, and the time frame. Then you put the subject, and you can add further information in the description section. And now the appointment appears here. And then you have your to-do list here that you can also access from the main page. Now let's move on to the new counter sale. So for example, an owner needs to buy food for its animal or medicine. So you go on this section, you click and select an animal. And then you can add a product. Then you click on invoice. And you can either email it to the owner or save it and print it. You can also add the payment. So let's say Mr. Smith pays cash and gives you 100 euro. It automatically calculates how much you need to give back. Now let's move on to the finance menu. So for each category, you can find all the information available by choosing a time frame. So for example, let's go on the visits to invoice. If you pick last year, there aren't any. But if you want to be more specific and check the period of time between December 1st and 9th, here is the list of all the visits you still need to invoice. Same thing for the history menu. For each category, you can find all the information available by choosing a time frame. Let's check out the reminders without following visits. So this means that, as explained before, when you send a reminder, you expect the owner to book an appointment, and if the person does not, then it will, and then the deadline goes by, well then he will appear here in this section, so that you know that you can still try to send another reminder, just to make sure that the animal is well taken care of. Now let's move on to the catalog menu. So here is the list of all the medical procedures that you provide within your clinic, and you can create new ones here. Same thing for the product list. You can also create new templates here. The packs are very useful because they allow you to link specific products to a medical procedure, so that every time you do this procedure, the products will automatically be added to the invoice and taken out of the stock. So for example, if we create a dog castration pack, so let's add a medical service, so dog castration, and then we can add products. And save, so that every time you do dog castration, when you create the invoice, you pick the pack directly, so that it will include the medical procedure and the medication. So you can check the stock at any time and see if you need to reorder some products, for example. Entering the batch numbers is very important because it will warn you if a product is expired or about to expire. Therefore, you will know what products must be sold first. If you go on this section, you can order products through the different purchasing companies available on the software. Here you can create a category for each medical procedure that you provide in your clinic. So you can create a new one here. In the product types categories, you can determine a specific margin for each category. So whenever you create a new product, the margin will automatically be applied. So for example, here for drugs, we decided to apply a 24% margin, and for food, 30%. Now let's go back to the product list. So here, this medicine is registered under drugs, so it should be a 24% margin, and here it is. Now let's try to create a new product. Under the food category, so it should be 30%, and it automatically changed here to 30%. And here is a list of the pre-registered purchasing companies, but you can also create your own here. Now let's move on to the stats menu. In this section, you can check all your stats. So sales, clients, products, vet users, anything important you need to know about your activity is available in this section. Now, creating templates will save you a lot of time. So for example, let's check out the email templates. Here is an annual reminder for vaccination. So we talked about that a bit earlier. So you just create a generic text, and then you include merge fields. You can find them here, so that when you send the reminder, the merge fields will be replaced by the actual information available in the system. So the client's name and title, the date, the name of the animal, your name and title. It saves you a lot of time. And finally, the settings menu. So in the application settings, you can personalize your software. So for example, you can start by choosing a different color. Then you can also download a picture or a logo of the clinic here. And you can personalize lots of things. For example, depending on the country you live in, the taxes are different, so you can change it in this section. So you can personalize a lot of things here, such as the payment methods too, and you can create new ones. And finally, the tags are a very important tool too. So here is the animals tags. So it will allow you to give a very specific and important information about a animal or a owner. So for example, if we go on this file, here you can see that this cat is diabetic, and you can also see that this owner is rude, or at least has been rude in the past, so that for example, if it's the first time that you are taking care of this owner, you know how to prepare your consultation, and so you won't be surprised if the person happens to be rude again. You can also add other tags. For example, if the cat is fearful, you can add it here, and it's very easy to create new ones. So for example, in the owner list, let's create a new one. For example, an owner that is always late. That is also important information to know. And then you can choose the color. And now it appears here. So thank you for watching this video. We hope that it has been helpful. If you need any further information, don't hesitate to consult our help menu here, or to send us a message, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.